Okay. Hello, welcome. You have to sit with me.
Welcome back
To my channel. Okay, hello, hi, what's up? So for today's YouTube video, we're gonna... So for today's YouTube video, you probably read the title. We're gonna be talking about how I found out that my ex-boyfriend was dating his motherfucking cousin. Okay. Cut. Hi guys. Woo! Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. What's up? How are we doing? Today we're gonna be talking about a very serious life thing that happened to me. And if you read the title, you know what it's about. It's about how my ex-boyfriend, whose name is going to be Eggplant, how Eggplant cheated on me with his cousin, who, just so you know in advance, cousins is gonna be Peach. Yeah, okay. Her name is gonna be Peach, okay? Because we're not trying to offend people, even though they offended me. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning of this story, how we met. So we met 2 years ago when I started working at a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and he was there, and we didn't really get along. Actually, I was really shy and like awkward, and I would not talk to him, and he would talk to me, but I didn't talk to him because I was really shy. But he was really nice to me. When they were training me, he would help me out the most. Even though he wasn't my trainer, he helped me more than my trainer, so I got felt like I could trust this guy, okay? And he was just really nice, and I still remember there was just one day when I was really stressed the fuck out, and he brought me a flower to work, and that made me feel better, and I was like, oh, do I have a secret admirer? Yeah, so that happened, and before I knew it, he asked me out on a date, and I think what was the most special about this was that he was the first guy that really gave me attention. And he was the first guy that would flirt with me, the first guy that asked me out on like a date, so yeah. And when he asked me out on a date, he was really shy, really awkward, really nervous. He seemed so nervous, and I was like, wow, he must really like me. I'm a bad bitch.
Wait till you see the. No. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
So I said yes to the date. We went out to another restaurant after work to eat. That was our first date. And I remember on the first date thinking like, this guy's a little weird. But I tried not to overthink it because like I'm weird too, you know? So I was like, hey, maybe I'm just really anxious because it's my first date. But nonetheless, I was like, this guy gives me a weird vibe. And you know what? Trust your gut, trust your vibes. But I ignored my gut, ignored my vibe. I was like, maybe it's my anxiety, you know? And you know what? We kept going on dates, and it was really nice. He would pay for my food all the time. We would hang out a lot. And yeah, before we knew it, we were dating, and it was a lot of fun. He got along with my parents really well. And it was just great, you know? I felt, honestly, to be honest, even after everything, I really do think he boosted up my self-esteem, because he would always compliment me, and I just thought like, wow, I'm a bad bitch, you know? Yeah, and just before I knew it, out of nowhere, I guess it was out of nowhere because everything was really good. He took me to meet his family for Easter. He took me to meet his family for Easter, and you know what he told me? He told me that I was the first girl he's ever taken to his family. And I just felt so special, you know? I was like, wow, I'm the first girl you're gonna take to your family, that you must really like me. But what happened, like, literally 3 days after? He ghosted me. That's what he did. He decided that he didn't want to text me anymore. He wasn't going to talk to me at work anymore. Out of nowhere. I did nothing wrong. I met his family. He took me home, said goodnight, texted me like, have a good night, and that was it. The next day, I didn't get a good morning text. He ignored all of my texts. Somehow, I barely worked with him. Our schedule was like the opposite. And when we did work, he wouldn't talk to me. And that made me feel like shit because I was like, what the fuck? Like, we were hanging out every single day for like 4 months. Okay, not 4 months, but like 2 months, 3 months. And out of nowhere, you don't want to talk to me. And I keep telling him, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? And he just ignored me. And finally, he sends me this text message that says, there's no point of going on from here. I'm too busy with my running career, my work, and college. So there's no point of going on. And I started crying like crazy, kept calling him, he wouldn't answer, I texted him, oh, well, you never loved me. And he was just like, well, don't assume. And I started crying, and that sucked. I cried for like 5 hours that night, and I woke up and my eyes were so puffy and red. And I didn't want to tell anyone at school that I was crying, so I was just like, I'm high. Because like, I thought that was cooler than crying, you know what I'm saying? So everyone thought I was just baked for that entire week of school. But I wasn't. I was just sad. Yeah, the more you know. And that sucked, but you know what? I got over it. That sucked and that broke my heart, but I got over it. And, you know, I would see him at work and I wouldn't feel like that sad about it anymore. I'd be like, okay, well, if he ghosted me out of nowhere, he must have not loved me enough. So I don't need that negativity in my life. I got over it. It was like long months, but I got over it. And as soon as I'm like over it, you know, I see him at work, I don't really care what he's doing. I don't care what he's up to. Let's reference back to our final month of dating, okay? I want to say this was in April because that's when Easter was, correct? And yeah, we broke up maybe first month of May, we broke up somewhere in May. So then April, May area was when he became very emotional out of nowhere, which is fine. People go through those phases, but he refused to hang out a lot. He wanted a lot of space, and when I wanted to talk to him, he'd get mad more than anything because he wanted his personal space. You know, I was like, fine, gave it to him, tried to be understanding, you know. At the end of the day, everyone needs personal space. I thought maybe I was too clingy, you know. I kept thinking that maybe I'm coming off as too clingy, maybe I'm bothering him too much, so let's back off. During this time, again, April, May area, he was hanging out with his family a lot, and he kept hanging out with his cousin. You know, obviously didn't mind, it's his cousin. Like, you know, if I had a lot of cousins that were my age, I'd hang out with them all the time too, whatever. But he would just hang out with them a lot, and I guess one of his cousins was, you know, female, around our age. Didn't think anything of it, because it's his cousin. Why would he lie to me? Let's talk about that. Why would he lie to me, you know? He would come to my house almost every day. He would help my dad make carne asadas. He would play video games with my little brother. He would He would help me study for tests. You know, he would come to my house at 10:30 at night with coffee and help me study for tests. So why would this guy, who gives me all of his love and attention and who gets along perfectly with my parents, why would he lie to me? He's hanging out with his cousin. That's cool. Hang out with your cousin. Family time. That's important. Yeah, and you know, there was this one time in late April. This was after he began to kind of ghost me after the whole Easter thing. He went to IHOP and he was eating with his cousin. How do I know this? My parents were there. My parents had breakfast at IHOP, and I get a call from my mom, and she says, "Hey, eggplant is here. He's having breakfast with a girl." And I'm like, okay, like it's probably a cousin. And my mom was like, okay, but she's like, you know, she's cute and she's small and she's young. She doesn't look like this, like this doesn't look like a little family thing. This looks like a date. And I got kind of mad at my mom. I was like, why would you think that eggplant is cheating on me? Like, that's rude. And I like kind of hung up on my mom really rudely, but I like actually cried in my room because I was like, is this why he's ghosting me? Like, is this one of his does he have a girlfriend? But my parents approached Eggplant and he said hi to them. He wasn't awkward. He was like, yeah, I'm just having breakfast, over here. And the thing is, he didn't like say this is my cousin, but she also didn't say anything. She just said hi, like, hi, what's up? And so my parents didn't think that much about it. I didn't think anything of it. He actually ended up texting me that day and was like, hey, just in case you get the wrong idea, I am having breakfast with my cousin. This is I hang out with her all the time because she's my cousin and we're really close and we grew up together. So I was like, okay, whatever. During those months as well, there were some people at work. He would say, hey, Eggplant's hanging out with this girl a lot and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, he's really close with some of his cousins. Like, why are you guys trying to ruin our relationship right now? And when I did confront Eggplant about it, oh, people, like, who's this girl that you're hanging out with? People think, like, you're cheating on me. He would get offended and very angry about it. He would, instead of assuring me that this was indeed his cousin, he would say stuff like, wow, you really think I would cheat on you? Wow, you really are gonna believe them? Wow, you really think I'm that type of bad guy? And he would end up flipping it around and making me feel like the victim. And before I knew it, I was the one apologizing for even asking him if for even questioning him. And so because he would get so upset about it, I would stop really asking him, when people at work told me, like, who's this girl that Eggplant's hanging out with, I would say his cousin. And they kind of just stopped asking me anything. And yeah, but again, he kept ghosting me regardless, and before we knew it, we broke up because, again, he didn't have enough time for me. Running is more important. Running. He runs at a community college, just so you guys know. And is he even a good runner? No. Could I outrun that fool? Yeah, if I practiced for like a month. Damn. Okay. we're going off track. Okay, anyways, yes, like 3 days later after, we broke up, this coworker of mine shows me a picture that he posted on his Snapchat. So during this time, I did not have a Snapchat. I had a Snapchat from like middle school, and then I deleted it for like two and a half years. But my friend, my coworker who had a Snapchat, showed me pictures of Eggplant's Snapchat, and he was posting pictures with a girl. Who was his girlfriend, He was posting like selfies with her, saying like, oh my babe, oh my baby mama. Oh, like, my girlfriend's so pretty, all this stuff. And I was like, the fuck? He just broke up with me because he didn't have time for me, So how does he have another girlfriend? Cried about it that night. Obviously, I was very upset. But what I ended up doing is I had my coworker like send me the picture of the girl, or of like the Snapchat that Eggplant posted, like forward it to me. And I showed it to my mother, and I was like, Mom, does this girl look familiar? And my mom was like, yeah, that's the girl we saw at IHOP. And I was like, but that has supposedly been his cousin, that supposedly, again, her name is Peach. This Peach girl has been his cousin, that's his cousin. That's why like, she's been at family things. That's why he took her out for breakfast, because they've been having family problems and they've been hanging out, talking about it, But I was like, no, I can reassure you 120%, this girl that is his girlfriend was the same girl that we've seen at IHOP with him. So basically, honestly, I don't even know for how long, but basically most of our, like, 5 months kind of ish relationship, the reason why he was ghosting me was because he was hanging out with this supposed cousin. But this cousin wasn't his cousin. Do you get what I'm putting down? It was his girlfriend. It was his girlfriend the whole time. So that hurt, because he was my first boyfriend and my first kiss, my first guy I held hands with, the first guy I, like, hugged, the first guy I went on a date with, the first guy I, like, took to my family. I didn't lie about that. He was the first guy I took to my family. And, yeah, he was dating his cousin. But she wasn't actually his cousin. It was his girlfriend. So that's that. Peach not know that I was a thing in his life, okay? You might be thinking that, Like, Jasmine, are you stupid? Yes, but not that stupid. Okay, so while we were dating, he did mention a lot about keeping our relationship private. And again, this was my first relationship, the first guy that gave me attention. I was very stupid. I thought, yeah, you know what, let's be private, because most relationships are, he would mention that most relationships are super open, and that's how they break up, and that's how other people get into their business, because they're so open. And so he would say, let's, like, if we're gonna take pictures, let's not post them. If we're going to like, hang out all the time, we don't have to post about it, because it's our business. He would always say that, it's our business. People, like, why do people have to know? And I was like, you're right, it is our business. Like, we know we're dating, like, we don't have to tell the entire world. Towards that summer that he broke up with her, and I ignored him. I was like, hey, you know what, whatever, I don't care that you guys broke up. He would tell every single person at work, that he broke up with Peach, and people would tell me, like, hey, did you know that Eggplant broke up with Peach, and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't care, like, leave me alone. I'm not gonna, like, get back with him. He cheated on me. Are you stupid? My gut was telling me, you're gonna get back with Eggplant. And I was like, that's just my anxiety being scared that I'm gonna get back with Eggplant. No, my gut was right. I should have listened to it more, because I found out during that summer we would, again, worked a lot, and it's a restaurant. You have to talk to each other. It's like a teamwork thing. So we would talk a lot. Before we knew it, we'd be joking around. Before you knew it, I missed our friendship. I missed our relationship. I missed being sarcastic assholes about all of the rude ass customers that we got. I missed just having someone to always talk to and someone to always joke around with. And I thought, you know what? He's single. I'm single. We can talk. We can flirt. I'm not gonna get back with him. Like, he already broke my heart, but I'll flirt back. Sure, that's not gonna do any harm, but I should have listened to my gut, because I kept feeling like, oh, we're gonna get back together. And before you knew it, we were back together. Are you stupid? I thought, you know what, he broke up with Peach, and maybe he's a changed man. And you know what, for the beginning of it, he was very sweet. He was sweeter than he's ever been. He was more charming than he's ever been. He was very apologetic. He acknowledged that he shouldn't have cheated on me. He acknowledged that he should have been more honest about his feelings. He came back to the house, apologized to my parents to their face, that he, like, treated me wrong, and he would take me out to dinner all the time. He would take me out to adventure, we would always drive around to new places, and I thought, wow, he's a changed man. And that was great. The summer ended. Before you know it, National Boyfriend's Day approaches. So when that school year began, we were too busy to really hang out, and I didn't really think anything of it. We're both busy with our lives, that's fine. And then there's this one day that my friend pulls up the Peach's Instagram. My friend just coincidentally, I guess, happens to follow Peach's Instagram. You know, Peach accepted it because it was private. And we look at all of the pictures. And what is her entire feed of? Of the eggplant. Her entire feed is of her and eggplant. That's it. That's all the pictures she posted. The pictures were from like May, I think. They were ranging from May, and just like, you know, she had a new picture with him every other week. So what does that mean? Is it A? Just kidding. Does it A mean that? No, okay. It meant that, you know, if you can't connect the dots, because I couldn't connect the dots, you know what I'm saying? If you can't connect the dots, it means that eggplant never broke up with Peach. So what does that mean? That means I was dating a guy who already had a girlfriend for a couple of months. But then, and like, that sucked, and I confronted him about it. But the thing is, it was so hard to confront him about it because A, he wouldn't answer the questions. He managed to somehow dodge every question, but he also managed to somehow still make you feel like the victim, and like he was the innocent guy. You know, he started saying that that Peach just never deleted the pictures, and that you know, it's just, you know, she would say, just because she still has the pictures doesn't mean we're still together. And I'm like, it's 2019, that's what it means. But I didn't say that because I was a pussy. So I was kind of like, okay, are you lying to me? He would say, no, I promise. And I would be like, You know, and another thing too is that we would see that on Eggplant's Instagram, he still had like her name as his bio, in his bio. And again, it's 2019. What does that mean? It means that they're dating. It means that they were together. It means that he never broke up with her. Thank you. Amen. Have a good night. I kind of finally decided, like, does Peach, does she know about me? Does she know that, like, not only have I been getting played, but she's been getting played? You know, as much as it felt like it was a very self-centered problem, you know, wow, I have been dating a guy who's had a girlfriend, you know, or wow, I've been a side chick for an entire year. I started thinking, did Peach know? Like, is she totally okay with the fact that her man flirts with other guys? Or is she as completely oblivious as I've been to the situation, you know? Again, keep in mind that Eggplant has always been this very charismatic, sweet, loving guy who looks super nerdy and like...
Did you say he flirts with a bunch of guys?
No. I said super flirty. Yeah, that's really it for this video. I'm still dealing with this emotionally.
Psych, bitch, you thought wrong.
I'm a bad bitch. And that is it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to like it. I'm just kidding. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below.